Namaste. Namasundara Nathaya Tasmai Halasya Vasine Chatushruti Vidhalila Yenakari Bhuvasthale Shrimat Sundara Nathasya Devim Shapharalochanam Kalaye Hridaye Nityam Kadamba Vanavasini Putam Swataf Putataram Tatoyat Gangam Pais Shankara Moli Sangat Tatpatu Matuf Pranaya Paradha Padahate Putatamam Tato Naha Astrayagatva Devena Kritayuddham Gataspraha Kauravyam Atyasheta ayam Uravyahatu Dhananjayaha Tasya Bhumisprisho Bhaktim Tarunendu Shikhamano Bhaktihi Agantuka Anyesham Katham Anukarishyati Dashaika Dashikaha Prayaha Vanijaha Chatura Api Ekandatva Iha Saha Amutra Tat Sahasram Uparjayat. In the last session we completed the 44th shloka. This is the third Leela of Parameshwara among the 64 Leelas that he conducted, that he showed for his bhaktas in and around Madurai. This is a Kadamba Vana Mahatmyam, that is, or Kadamba or Halasya Mahatmyam. This entire 64 Leelas are based on the Skanda Purana text of Halasya Mahatmyam. But when it comes to a Kavyam, the poet has to show his pratibha, his creativity, his prowess, and how he has to embellish it and make it into a kavyam status. And that's how there can be a difference between a Purana or an Itihasam and a Kavyam. You will have to beautify it and ornament it in such a manner that it is more, there is, people want to come and listen to it and read it more often than a Purana. Purana is just like an account of the story without any beautifying aspects in it. So the poet, it's the responsibility of the poet to give the same content in a sugar-coated pill. He gives it in a manner that is very enjoyable and is more attractive. We saw how in the second Leela the work or the actions of the elephant was magnified by the poet, and it attracted us to that Leela. In the same way here, there is no mention either in the Tiruvilayadal Puranam or in the Halasya Mahatmyam about how the Dhananjaya, the merchant, was a Shiva Bhakta. It just mentions that Shiva Bhakta Parayanaha Kaschid Vaishyavaraha Shriman Sarthanama Dhananjayaha Shiva Bhakti Samayuktaha Shiva Puja Parayanaha Dhanani Shiva Bhaktebhyaha Pradadati Arjitanicha. Whatever he earned, he gave it to the Shiva Bhaktas. He was always doing Shiva Puja and he was a Shiva Bhakta. These are the three things that are mentioned, and then he moves on to the story of how he goes to trade in the country and then chances upon Kadambavana, and then the Leela continues. That's all. But our Neelakanta Dikshita, he is a bhakta of both Meenakshi and Sundareshwara. He has in fact named one of his child as Meenakshi. His daughter her name is Meenakshi here. So he wants to specify more emphasis, again, lay more emphasis on the Shiva Bhakti. So he describes the Bhakti of Dhananjaya, the merchant. Astraya Gatva Devena Krita Yuddham. He shows the difference between Dhananjaya, Arjuna, and our Dhananjaya, who is a Vanik here. He says he is much better than Arjuna, who actually fought with the Shiva for something, whereas our Vanik Dhananjaya, he did not have any such desire, so he did not have to ask for anything from Shiva there. So his bhakti was so natural that nobody else can imitate that bhakti, even imitate, let alone follow. They can't even imitate the devotion that Dhananjaya had for Shiva. He was also a merchant. He did all the work that a merchant would do, like giving out 10 and expecting 11, etc., etc. So that's what we saw last time, right? For interest, as an interest, when someone gives a loan of 10 rupees, then you expect 11 rupees in return. But this person, he gave only one, and he got thousands of things. The difference was he gave only bhakti and in return he received thousands of punya, and which would give him fruit in Svargam. Continuing further, also says how a moral life, an ethical life is important. It's not only enough to have bhakti, but there should be a practice to it. See, yoga along with bhakti leads to moksha. You need bhakti, jnanam, vairagyam. And for vairagyam to become successful in one's life, you need the path of yoga, because it gives a discipline in your actions and it controls the indriyas in a very natural manner. Swabhavikataya tatra indriyanam niyantranam bhavati iti karanat yogasya pramukhyam diyate asmakam shastreshu moksha shastre vishishya. For attaining moksha, for attaining liberation, yoga is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, there are chances of slipping. That is why yoga is given as an essential step to attain moksha. And this yoga is, there are 8 parts in this yoga, which is called an Ashtanga yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. For us to go into Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, and for that Dharana, Dhyana or Samadhi to be firmly established in our mind, we need the earlier steps, and we need a strong foundation in the earlier steps. Yama, Niyama, etc. Involve the control of outer sense organs and the inner sense organs. Dhananjaya had this automatic. See, his bhakti was so swabhaviki that even the first few steps of the yogam were already present in him. So in this shloka, Nilakanta Dikshita says that he had a great control of all of his sense organs. Parakshetra paramarsha parishanki dhananjayaha na utsasarja bahirjatu sa go shadgavam atmanaha. In the same trend as Nilakanta Dikshita is explaining the vyavaharam of a merchant, he also inputs that Shiva Bhakti. Any action that he does is always involved with the Shiva Bhakti. So Nilakanta Dikshita gives that contrast in a very beautiful manner, and he integrates it also. So Parakshetra, the first work of the Vanik was to lend money. So that he dealt with in the earlier shloka. Now in this shloka, he has to tend to the fields and the cattle. These are also part of his job. In the Manu Dharma Shastram, we saw the couple of shlokas that I had highlighted last time, where Vaishasya Kamaha Raksheyam Pashun iti. His work should be to protect the animals in the world. He also has to take care of Bijanam Upti with. He should know what bijam should be put in which kshetram, in which field, etc. But there is no lobha here. There is no greed in Dhananjaya. He does not touch another person's field. Parakshetra, paramarsha, parishanki. There is a repetition of the letter pa here, which is an anuprasa. Parakshetra, paramarsha, parishanki, Dhananjaya. Saha Dhananjayaha, Saha is there in the second line here, Bahir Jatu Saha iti. So Saha Dhananjayaha, Parakshetra Paramarsha Parishanki. Parishanki, he feared touching another man's field. Parakshetra, Paresham Kshetrasya Paramarsham Ayam Parishankate. Parishankate ityukte, he fears. He does not want to touch another person's property. So kshetram also means wife. Kshetram, parakshetra also means parakalatram. It's another person's wife. So he does not think about another person. Idila, if you have read Prataparudriyam, of course, Mahapariva has also mentioned that this particular shloka from from Prataparudriyam, Swapnepi Anyavadu katha kakatindro namrishyati iti. So one who does not even think about another person's katha, swapnepi anyavadhu katha. He does not think about another person's wife even in his dreams. Swapnepi anyavadhu katha. This is one of the control of the senses. This shows that he had a great control of his senses. So, parakshetra, paramarsha, parishanki. This is an adjective. It has two meanings. So, the entire shloka is going to have two meanings here. So, one is that the simple work of a vanik, which is to tend to the fields. So he only tended to his own fields. Swakshetra paramarshameva saha karoti, natu anyesham kshetranam tatra sparsham na chintayatyapi. So parakshetra paramarsha parishanki, parishankate, one who fears, one who is afraid to touch paramarsham, touch another person's field. Now, why can there be a possibility of touching another person's field? You have your own field, you're going to sow the seeds in your field and you're going to grow the crops here. So, why should there be a problem of touching another person's field here? Another work of the vanik is to grow cattle, right? He has to take care of the cattle. Cattle have to graze for grass and everything. So their nourishment comes from the grass. As it just wanders around, it could go into another person's field also. So he is extremely careful in protecting even his cows here. So he says, Saha go shadgavam atmanaha go shadgavam bahihi Jatu na utsasarja. Jatu kadachidapi na utsasarja na tyaktama. He did not let go of his 6 cows to travel out of his field. Bahihi. 6 cows is not, it's just a representation. Maybe 6 types of domesticated animals could be there. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that. It's possible that there are cows, bull, or buffaloes, oxen, maybe goats, and 2 more. Probably I can come up with, maybe there is a reference somewhere to 6 kinds of gramya pashu, which a merchant has to take care of. Some text might give that explanation, but I couldn't find anything. If that is there, then it will be really perfect in this shloka. So the simple meaning here is, he did not let go of his 6 animals, 6 types of animals, or 6 cows, go shadgavam, or you can take it as a number which is just a representation, or it could be a 600, 6 sets of cows, right? So it could be 600 cows, it could be 60 cows. It depends on how much his wealth was. So go shadgavam. Shadgavam is a very peculiar formation. Shatkam, we have heard the word shatkam, a set of 6. So when it is a set of 6 animals, then you say gavam shadgavam. Gavam shadgavam ityukte, then you make it into, there is a pratyaya called shadgavach, which comes in place of shat. So gavam shat, gavam shatkam, samohaha, there is a 6 set of 6 of cows. You put in the word shadgavach. It is a pratyaya because of a vartikam which says shattve shadgavach. This comes under the sutram samprodascha katach 5 to 29 for those who are interested in grammar. Saha go shadgavam, atmanaha go shadgavam. His set of cows, he did not let them go out at all, out of his field. So he was so careful that he kept his cows within his field and did not let it go out at all. Okay, because he did not want to touch another person's field here. These cows may wander into another person's field and ruin their crops. Hence, he was very careful not to let go of his animals out of his own field. Now, the same thing applying to his state, his mind, his yoga state, yogic state. Parakshetra paramarsha parishanki Dhananjaya, fearing to touch another man's wife, Dhananjaya did not let go of his 6 sense organs. Go iti धेनूनामपि वाची वाचकशब्दः इन्द्रियः इत्यपि गो षट्कम् इत्युक्ते इति சொல்றோம் இல்லையா गोचरः सो वाचाम् अगोचरः गोचर इत्युक्ते गो इति इन्द्रियस्य अन्यत् पदम् इन्द्रियम् sense organ go also means a sense organ so go षट्कवम् there are 6 sense organs not so we have only 5 we all think there is only panchendriyam you will have to take in manas also. Okay, so chakshu shrotra nasa jihva tvak manamsi. So because without the manas you cannot without the manas you cannot experience any object with the 5 sense organs. You need the connection of the manas to experience all of these sense organs. The eye may see, but if your mind is not connected with the eye, then whatever you see is not going to be received in the mind or the brain. So you need the manas also. There are 2 theories. One is Panchendriya, and people also accept manas as an antarindriyam which takes in all of these things. So Goshadgavam, Atmanaha Goshadgavam, his 5 sense or 6 sense organs, including manas, 5 sense organ and manas, he does not let those travel out of his body. So Bahihi ityukte Sharirat Bahihi. In the earlier explanation, it was Swakshetrat Bahihi Gavam Anumatihi Nasit. Atratu Swasharirat Bahihi. He did not let his sense organs go out at all. What did he do? He only focused everything within him and he was meditating upon Shiva. So he was such a great Shiva Bhakta that he did not let his sense organs wander. His mind was very much in control and his buddhi was controlling that mind also, and he did not let go of all of the 6 indriyas. So Parakshetra Paramarsha Shanki Parishanki Dhananjayaha Na utsasarja bahirjatu sa go shadgavam atmanaha. Okay. The next one. Vrittihi sa hi visham yattu bhuvamullikhya jivanam satutat karma tatyaja divamullikhya kevalam. Again, the next work. So lending money. Next is taking care of one's field and cattle. The third one is mining. So the third job for a merchant is to take care of the earth and mining the earth. So Visham sa vrittihi, he, Visham vrittihi, Vish is, again Vish is Vaishya. So Vaishya bhumis prisho vishaha, iti amrakoshe vartate, purvameva uktam maya. And Nilakanta Dikshita uses all of those words. He used bhumis prik before, he used Vaishya, Vanik. Now he uses the word Vish. It's a Shakaranta Padam. Visham, Vanijam. So all the merchants, Vritti, Jivanam, Sahi. This is the Jivanam of, this is the livelihood of a Vaishya that yet he has to Bhuvam Ullikhya Jivanam. His digging the earth is the livelihood, Jivanam, of all the Vaishyas, all the merchants. It's what has been given in the Manu Dharma Shastra. What was that quotation that we had? Mani Mukta Pravalanam Lohanam Tantavasya cha Labha Britya Pashunam Parivardhanam Bhumisprish iti. Bhumisprik. Gandhanam cha rasanam cha, correct. Bijanam mukti with kshetra dosha gunasya cha, and then he also gets money, mukta, pravalam. All of these are mined out of the earth. Bhuvam ullikhya. Ullikhya has 2 meanings. One is literally ullekhanam, which is digging the earth. So bhuvam ullikhya jivanam, digging the earth and living, is the livelihood, vrittihi, of Vanik. of a merchant or of all the merchants. Now, this is a natural livelihood of a merchant to dig the earth and live by the minerals that he gets from the earth. Satu tatkarma tatyaja. He left out that work, but he only did things which highlighted the swargam for him. Divam ullikhya kevalam divam ullikhya saha tatkarma tatyaja. Tatkarma, he left that karma. Left that karma ityukte, it doesn't mean that he did not do that work at all. He dana rupena tatra arpanam kritva iti tatyaja utsasarja iti na. You take it as arpayamasa and not as tyaktavan iti. Tatyaja here is karma tyajati ityukte. He lets go of that karma ishwararpana buddhya. The same work, he left that work or he did it with an ishwararpana buddhi, because what did he have in his mind? He highlighted only swargam in his mind. That is, he highlighted it as a kartavyataya swargameva lakshikritya saha svabhumikananam sarvadikam ishwararpana buddhya akarot ityartha. Is it clear? Divam ullikhya. Now this ullekhanam is, we use a highlighter pen and highlight, right? That is also ullekhanam. So, or lakshanam, lakshyam, you target something. What is the work of a highlighter? When you read a book, you want to highlight something, your eyes have to target on that particular section. That is why you highlight that section. You use a highlighter and mark it neon color, so that the next time you open that book, your eyes will automatically go to that highlighted section or that underlined section. Underlining, highlighting, all of these are called ullekhanam. Even in grantha ullekhanam ityukte, you are highlighting some portion from the grantha and talking about it as an evidence, as a proof. So you are targeting some portion of that text. The same way here he says, kevalam divam ullikhya. He had only divam, dyauhu, swargam as his ullekha, as his target, lakshyam. And he left the karma. Left the karma atratu arpanam akarot. So he completely gave that karma to Bhagavan in the idea that he wanted swargam or sayujya padavi, moksham also. So, Swargadwara, you go through each worlds and then go to Satyalokam and go become one with Shiva in Kailasa. So, this is a route that you take through the Yoga Margam. I was also talking about the Yoga Margam in the earlier thing, right? So, when your sense organs are under control, you do your work with an Ishwararpana Buddhi, that is, there is a bhakti to it, associated with it, and then you take the Archiradi Margam and travel to Swarga and then Bhur Bhuva Swaha Mahar Janaha Tapaha Satyam, and then go to Kailasa beyond that. Is that clear? So this is the route that he wants to take. So Vrittis Sahi Visham Yattu Bhuvamullikhya Jivanam. Everybody's work, everybody's mind, all of the merchants' target is this bhumi, but his target was something beyond the bhumi. Satu tatkarma tatyaja divamullikhya kevalam. The next one, kraya vikrayam, is another job of the merchant. Selling and buying something. This is the next, another job of I want to go back to that Manudharma Shastram and see if there is labha labham cha panyanam sarasaram bhandanam deshanam cha guna gunam labha labham cha panyanam. Panyaha, that which is being sold and got back. So he looks at the profit and loss in an object that he sells and buys. The same selling and buying, even our Dhananjaya does it here. But how the way he sells and the way he buys is vichittam, because he is a Shiva Bhakta. Akrinataiva punyani vyakrinita cha akrinitaiva punyani vyakrinita cha jatu api na jatvapi Sorry, it's a tongue twister here. Samayeshu upayogaya sarvameva jugopasaha. There is another reading, Sangrihyaiva jugopasaha. I did not take that reading. I would rather take sarvameva because sangrihya is the other meaning for akrinita. So here the kri dhatu is a ubhayapadi. Yeah. Just a second. Yes, it is an ubhayapadi. So you have krinati in parasmaipadam and krinite in atmanepadam. The lang lakara for atmanepadam is akrinita. This is your word without the upasarga. So akrinita, krayam karoti, that is he buys. Vikrinati, so vikrinite, when you add the upasarga vi, it means vikrayam, selling. So buying and selling, both he only buys, but he doesn't sell, it seems, because he wants to collect everything and use it at the perfect moment. It is not hoarding. It's like you keep accumulating certain things, and you look at actually hoarding. A merchant, a very clever merchant, what he does is he takes on all of these products and hoards it and releases it at the perfect time. When there is a famine, he will sell it for a higher price and get more profit. That is the work of a normal merchant. But our Dhananjaya is buying and selling itself, the product is something very different. He does not buy Panya Vastu. Panya Vastu is that saleable items. It's not a saleable item that he buys. He buys Punyani. Punyani akrinitayeva. He only buys Punyam. He buys only Punya illa. You take that evakara to akrinita. Natu vikrinati. Saha krinati eva. Natu vikrinati. Arthat Punyani grinnatyeva. Natu he doesn't give that Natu dadati Punyani. He does not give his punyam to anybody. He only collects punyam. That is, he does good job. Shubha karmani kritva tatra kevalam punyani grinnhati. That's why this sangrihya, then if this sangrihya comes here, it becomes a repetition. There will be a punarukti dosha. So I have avoided that and taken sarvameva here. Okay. So akrinata eva, he only got or bought punyam through his actions. Na jatu vyakrinita. He never sold all of those. That is, he did not give it up. So, for example, when we collect punyam in Kali, there is a saying that we say, Kalila kaimela palan. Another kaimela palan. I do a good deed today. I'm going to receive a good deed or the palan, the fruit of that action immediately within this janma itself, many times. Okay, it is just an expression. It is not to be taken as a rule and say, why didn't I really receive any good for whatever good I have done? I have only been doing good. I've only been thinking about good things, but I am only getting bad things done. Tathanasti. What I'm saying is, it is an expression that we say, you immediately see the fruit of whatever you are doing. So here too, he does not do all of his work. He does not do in the idea that I need to receive this good things. I need to receive more money. I need to have a big bungalow. I need to have good children. Tatha, he does not even bargain with the Shiva for all of these things. He keeps on accumulating punyam. He does not ask for anything in exchange for the punyam that he has collected, which means he does not sell that punyam for good things in this world. Is that clear? So chandanam, all of these things, right? I have to digress this in Tamil. The valakke thirche onnu sollum. Vilakke thiruvilakkenu solli எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் அது. ஏன்னா அதுல வந்து you say அது என்ன பெட்டி நிறைய பூஷணங்களை, we light a small lamp and ask for so many things. It's in Tamil usually. There is no Sanskritam Shloka equivalent that I have seen, but this is like a Shloka that we recite in Tamil. we ask for a box full of petti niraya bhushanangalai tharumamma, alankara vastu, santana pichayudan madi enna saubhagya pichayudan, santana pichayudan, something like that. There is a huge thing. Takkana adu aarambichadhaan varum. Only if you start from the first line, it will just come continuously. If I try to do it in the middle, it is very difficult. So yeah, the result is kottil niraya kudiraigalai tharumamma. Give me a lot of horses and cows and everything. Ana ellam thandennyan pakkathil nillumamambar. That's the best part of that entire stotram, where you say, after giving everything, you have to stay beside me so that these stay permanently with me. So that is the shloka that we always ask in this, what we want in this world, by doing a small actions like lighting a lamp. Eshaha api Dhananjayaha, he also did a lot of actions. He accumulated punyam, but he was very clever. He did not ask for anything in return. He did not spend that punyam. Najatu vyakrinita. He did not na vikrinati sma. He did not sell that punyam at all. Why did he do that? Sarvameva jugopasaha. He kept it secret. He protected it really well. Raraksha. Rakshitavan. So how did he protect all of these punyas that he earned? Samayeshu upayogaya. He had to use it at the proper time. Uchita samaye, uchita kale. Usually the objects that people buy, they wait and then sell it only at the correct time so that they can get the maximum benefit out of it. Okay, is that clear? So samayeshu, there is another meaning for samayam. Samaya also means niyama. Shiva aradhana niyameshu upayogaya. He wanted to use that punyam only during his Shiva aradhana, Shiva puja. So samaya also means matam, religious practices. So during religious austerities, he wanted to use it. So for the purpose of upayogaya, samayeshu, during religious practices, he kept everything protected. He did not let go of it. So api kraya vikrayam karoti, parantu krayameva karoti, natu vikrayam karoti. He only receives punyam. Vikrayam tu kada karoti, uchita samaye eva karoti, tattu pujasu. Akrinitaiva punyani vyakrinita najatvapi samayeshu upayogaya sarvameva jugopa saha. What is this? Oh, that shloka. Ha, vilakke thiruvilakke vendan udan pirappe jodi mani vilakke Sridevi ponmaniye. And the petti niraya bhushanangalai tharumamma, kottagai niraya kudiraigalai tharumamma, allum pagalum vendan nadi. It's a beautiful shlokam that you just continuously say. Romba nana irukum adu. This is a good link. I'll see if I can share it with everybody, maybe on the chat, and you can make a note of that. This is a little different from what I am used to, but yeah, I'll see if I can share it in the chat. Everybody can see this. Okay, let me finish and then I'll go on to the questions. Illana aprom konjam delay aande irukum. Yeah. Next one. Sa bahun vishayan gatva vanijyaya dhananjayah nivritto nipakantara samipam sayam ayayo. He goes on to the story after describing his Shiva Bhakti. There are a couple of shlokas which are very quick. So, sa bahun vishayan gatva, after going to a lot of Vishaya here is desha vishesha. So, desha is also called Vishaya. There is a Paryayavachi Shabda for, in Amarakosham, you will find this sentence. One minute, let me check where I have it. Bahun Vishayan Gatva. Nivrit Janapadaha Desha Vishayautu Upavartanam. Iti Amare Vartate. So, Nivrit Janapadaha Deshaha Vishayaha Upavartanam, these are all countries, words for countries, different words for deshaha. So Vishayan Gatva, after going to a lot of places, So Dhananjaya, why did he go to all of these places? Vanijyaya bahun vishayan gatva. After traveling to many countries for Vanijyam, trade, Vanijaha karma. After traveling to a lot of these countries for trade, he turned back in the evening. Sayam nivrittaha. After turning back in the evening time, Sayankale, Nipakantara samipam ayayo. He came towards this Nipa Vanam. Now, I was looking up in Tiruvilayadal Puranam, the Nagaram where this Dhananjaya is staying is called Kalyana Nagaram. In Tamil, it is called Manavur. And this Manavur is the place where Shiva married Parvati to show Agastya. So there are 2-3 places in Tamil Nadu. One is in this Tiruvallur district, which is near Alangad. There is one Tiruvalangadu near Mayavaram, Kumbakonam. There is an Alangadu here, which is one of the Sabha, Pancha Sabha, Ratna Sabai, Kanaka Sabha, Chit Sabha, Ityadikam. So there are totally 5 Sabhas where Nataraja did the celestial dance, and Alangadu is a city close to Chennai, towards Arakonam. And that in that city, Shiva danced. He was very tired. So he went to another city called Takkolam, where he slept for some time. And then Agastya came and said, you married Parvati in Kailasa. I did not get to see it, so you have to show that. So he came to this city called Manavur, which is our Kalyana Nagaram where Dhananjaya was born. And he comes to that Manavur to marry Parvati, to show Agastya the marriage. So there is another place in Tanjavur district near Papanasham, which is called Nallur, and there he is also called Kalyana Sundareshwara, where he takes on the form of Kalyana Kolam. He stands in Kalyana Kolam with Parvati for Agastya. There too. இதுவும் இருக்கு திருவேழி மிழிசை அங்கேயும் he does this. So there are several places where he shows his marriage to the rishis who missed out on the main event. So Manavur is one of those places. Another Manakkardu, Kalyanam is marriage, right? So the place where Shiva's marriage took place again. So he roams. This is in Tiruvallur district. Our Nepakantaram Kadambavanam is in Madurai. So I don't know how long this merchant traveled, Dhananjaya traveled for him to go, and as he was returning, he spent the night in Kadambavanam. So he must have gone at least to Kanyakumari and then or Tirunelveli down south, and then he must have, as he was returning towards Manavur, he must have stayed in this Nipavanam. The distances are a little off, but maybe the cities were also very different in Krita Yugam. This was a Krita Yuga story, right? So the distances may have been very different there. So Bahun Vishayan Gatva Vanijyaya, for Vanijyam, for trade, he went to a lot of countries. And Sayam Nivrittaha or Nivrittaha, as he was coming back, Sayam Nipaka, I would rather take this Sayam here. Okay, when it was becoming evening, that is the sun was setting, so he came to the vicinity of Kadambavanam. Nipakantara samipam ayayav. He came near Nipavanam, Kadambavanam, and usually they do not travel during evening time. When the sun is setting, they stay at some place for Sandhyavasana, and they spend the night. They do not travel during the night. Once it is morning, they start their travel again. So he looked at this Nipavanam and he entered this Nipavanam and was going to stay the night here, where he will witness the divine puja of Parameshwara. Sabahun Vishayan Gatva Vanijyaya Dhananjaya Nivritto Nipakantara Samipam Sayam Ayayav. Adrishyata Sahasramshuhu. Now the description of Surya Astamanam is going to happen in 2 shlokas. Adrishyata Sahasramshuhu Asta Bhudharam Astake Mandeha Yuddha Labdhasrit Pankadigdha Ivarunaha. He is slowly seeing the sun setting. Usually, if you notice, as I was reading the shloka, you would have noticed that there are a lot of these harsh words, letters in this. because the sunset is a reminder of a lot of fears for us. It is night time. We're talking of a time when there was probably no electricity or anything, and he is he is close to a forest here. So here the poet has to evoke that fear in our mind, that it is a forest, there could be a lot of animals. Yeah. So adrishyata sahasramshuhu adrishyata sahasram amshavaha yasya saha iti suryah, one who has 1,000 rays. So sahasramshuhu adrishyata, he was seen. Where was he seen? Asta bhudara mastake, bhudaraha parvataha, Asta Parvataha, Astagiri, Astachalam. The idea is usually the sun rises from the Udayachalam and he sets behind the Astachalam. There are two mountains, so he rises behind one mountain and sets behind another mountain. These are all things that is described in the Puranas and our Kavi Samaya, Kavya Lokam. Asta Bhudara Mastake, on the Shikharam, Mastakam, forehead, on the Shikharam peak of the Asta, the setting mountain, the sun was seen. Sahasramshuhu adrishyata. How was this Sahasramshu seen? He was seen Arunaha. He was as if it was red because of being digdha, painted by the Asrak Panka. Asrak is blood, the muddy blood that is got labdha from doing a fight, yuddham, with Mandeha. So Mandehas is a set of Rakshasa, Mandehaha iti Rakshasaha. Mandehaha also is an Akaranta Shabdam. Sometimes it is also being said as a Sakaranta Shabda. So Mandehas is a set of Rakshasas who are hanging on to this Astachalam constantly. They are waiting to fight with Surya during dusk, Sandhya Kale. This is a Puranic explanation of why Surya is very red during the setting time. Okay, when the sun set, at the time of sunset every day, the sun seems to be very red in color. So the Puranic reference, and I think it should be there in the Shatapada Brahmanam also, I'm not sure about it, but there are references to it in Markandeya Puranam, Skanda Puranam, even in Ramayana, there is a reference to this Mandeha. These are Rakshasas who fight with Surya during Sayam Sandhya. These demons keep on dropping into the water. So there is an ocean and there is an Astachala. The Paschima Samudram is your setting ocean, and there is a mountain there behind which the Surya goes. This is your image. Have this painting in mind. Now the Sayam Sandhya Upasana that these Dvijas do. Dvija is Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. All three of them do the Sayam Sandhya Upasana. When they do this Upasana, the main part of this Upasana is Arghya Pradhanam. They have to throw water towards the sun. They have to look at the sun and pour water towards the sun. Now this water, which is purified by the Gayatri Mantram, that is actually thrown on the Rakshasas, Mandehas, who are fighting with Surya, and they, because of this water being thrown on them, they burn and they fall down to the ocean. Okay, this is a set of Rakshasas that are there mentioned in the Purana. So I'll just give the Purana reference and Ramayana reference. One is in Skanda Puranam. Narada talks about this to Arjuna. Sandhya kalecha mandehaha suryam icchanti khaditum. Just as Hanuman wanted to eat the sun, Sandhya kale api mandehaha, Rakshasaha, those Rakshasas who are called Mandeha, that group, they want to eat the Surya, sun. Prajapati kritaha shapaha tesham phalguna rakshasam. Tesham rakshasam Prajapati kritaha shapaha vartate. There is a shapa, curse that Brahma has cursed them in such a manner, those Rakshasas in such a manner. Phalguna iti Arjunasya Anyatanama. So here Narada is addressing Arjuna and saying, hey Phalguna, this is a shapam that was given by Prajapati to all these Rakshasas. What is the shapam? Akshayatvam shariranam maranam cha dine dine. Shariranam, their bodies are never destroyed. Akshayatvam, never destroyed, but they have to die every day. Maranam cha dine dine. They die daily in the evening. Tataha suryasya taihi yuddham bhavati atyanta darunam. A fierce battle happens between them and Surya. Tato Gayatri Putam Yat Dvijaha Toyam Kshipanti cha. Gayatri Putam, Gayatri Mantrena Putam Jalam Toyam Dvijaha Yat Kshipanti Tena Dakhyanti Te Papaha Sandhyopasanataha Sada. When Sandhyopasana is being done, these Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they throw water which is purified by Gayatri Mantram on them. Tena Dakhyanti Te Papaha. Those sinful Rakshasas burn because of that water that falls on them. This is in Puranam. In Itihasam, Ramayanam, in the Kishkinda Kanda, Vinata there is a Yuthapati, the Vanara Yuthapati called Vinata. Sugriva addresses Vinata and tells him, let the monkeys go here, let the monkeys go there. He gives the different directions and the places, Java, Tatra, Suvela, mountain. He mentions a lot of mountains and everything. He also talks of Garuda's home and Kailasa. Garuda's home, which is like Kailasa. So, in the south. Griham cha Vainateyasya, this is in Kishkinda Kandam, 40th chapter. Griham cha Vainateyasya Nanaratna Vibhushitam Tatra Kailasa Sankasham Vihitam Vishwakarmana. Vishwakarma has created a house for Vainateya, Garuda, which is decorated with a lot of ratnas, and it is like Kailasa. Tatra Shailanibha Bhimaha Mandehaha Nama Rakshasaha. There, these very terrible looking Rakshasas who are like mountains themselves, Shaila Shringeshu Lambante Nana Rupaha Bhayavahaha. They hang on to the peaks of that mountain. So during dusk time, when the Surya comes there, these Rakshasas are fighting with Surya there. Te patanti jale nityam suryasya udayanam prati. So towards the Suryodaya, they fall down every day. Surya Udayanam Prati Ityasti Prayaha. They then go towards the Udaya Kalam and then come back here. I'm not sure what he means here. Or they fight with them and then fall so that the Surya can complete his job. Nihataha, how are they killed? Nihataha Brahma Tejobihi Ahani Ahani Rakshasaha. By the Brahma Tejas, Brahmananam Tejasa Nihataha. They are killed every day by the Tejas of Brahmins. Abhitaptascha Suryena. Here it is a little different. It says Suryena Abhitaptaha. They are also burnt by Surya and they hold on to these mountains again and again. So Nityam Maranam, the Maranam se dine dine, Akshayatvam Chariranam, their bodies will never be completely destroyed and they die every day. Okay. So this is another reference to these Mandeha. Now let's go back to the Shlokam. What does it mean here? Mandeha Yuddha. Now imagine, the poet is imagining a fanciful situation here. He says the Surya, the sun is very red because he is completely filled with the blood after fighting with the Mandehas. So Mandeha Yuddha Labdha Asrik Panka. Panka is, blood is never like a river. If it has to be a river, there should be a total massacre for it to run like a river. Yeah, here it is a pankam. It's a very sticky kind of thing. So that's why he says panka. And digdham is anointing. When you have to anoint someone with something or paste something on someone, it has to be in the form of a paste or a pankam. Like chandanam. If you have ranni chandanam, it's very tough. Only if it is a little like a paste form, you can digdham, chandana digdham kartum shakyate. So Saha Suryaha Sahasramshuhu, he looks as if he has been anointed with the muddy blood of those Mandehas after fighting with those Mandehas. Okay, so this is a Utpreksha here and a little story also. Okay, Adrishyata Sahasramshuhu Asta Bhudhara Mastake Mandeha Yuddha Labdha Asrik Panka Digdha Iva Arunaha. The next shloka also has a big explanation. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. We'll finish with this shloka. And just a note before all of you leave, we won't have classes for at least 1.5 months, maybe 2 months. I'm going on vacation. We will resume from mid-July or later, last week of July. Okay. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Namaste.
Meaning in
so பராமர்ஷங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம் ஒரு மீனிங் இருக்கு. A simple meaning can be just ஸ்பர்ஷ, தொடறது அப்படின்னு. When you take the meaning of இந்திரியா, then பராமர்ஷ is a tool. அதாவது இந்திரிய பராமர்ஷம்னு சொல்லுவோம். இந்த சக்ஷுர் இந்திரியேன, அதாவது மனஹா இந்திரியேன சம்யுக்தம் பவதி. அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த சக்ஷுஸ் விஷயேன இந்த ப்ராசஸ் ஆஃப் கிரகணம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, தட் ப்ராசஸ் ஆஃப் கிரகணம் இஸ் கால்டு பராமர்ஷ.
இல்ல, இப்ப இந்திரியங்கள் வந்து மனசு மூலமா தான் எல்லாரோட தொடர்பு கொள்ளுது இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
அதனால பராமர்ஷங்கிறது மனசை பொறுத்து தானே அமையுது. அதனால மனசு
இந்திரியத்து வழியா போய் விஷயாக்காரமாக ஆகி நமக்கு வந்து பிரதிபலிக்கும் பொழுது அந்த விஷயத்தினுடைய ஒரு கிரகணம் ஏற்படுறது. That process வியாபாரஹா பராமர்ஷஹ. இந்திரிய வியாபாரஹா is பராமர்ஷ. ஓகே
ஓகே. நம்ம எல்லாம் டச் பண்ணி தான் ஃபீல் பண்றோம் இல்லையா? நுகர்றது, taste, touch, everything
in, yes, that tvak goes with everything. The kanna also, it has a touch with yes, the object in a way, connection.
Yes,
so that's what it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, that's all I think. Okay, we'll meet later. Okay. Namasundaranathaya tasmai halasya vasine चतुष्षष्टि विधालीला येनाकारी भुवस्तले श्रीमत् सुन्दरनाथस्य देवीं सकललोचनां कलये हृदये नित्यं कदम्ब वनवासिनीम्.